Well, hello, I'm John Bachman. Another shoe may be about to drop in the Brian Williams scandal. Travis Tritton, the reporter who first debunked Williams' Iraq helicopter story, took to Twitter just a little over an hour ago and says a new Stars and Stripes story surrounding the NBC anchor is coming out shortly. The daily newspaper retweeted that post, and we'll be sure to keep you updated on what that development might be. And there also may be a ratings fallout as well for Williams at NBC. New numbers out just this afternoon show Williams' nightly newscast was beaten soundly by ABC World News Tonight on Friday. Nielsen also says ABC had about 500,000 more viewers Friday, 2 days before Williams' on-air apology, where he admitted his chopper never actually took enemy fire. Tonight, Williams' replacement Lester Holt will take over while Williams serves that self-imposed suspension. It may be time for Brian Williams to step down for good in order to save his reputation. That's what Dick Morris, author of Power Grab, tells Newsmax TV.
If he admits the problem, if he himself brings out other examples, and if he says, I'm going to go to therapy, I'm going to work on this problem, I'm going to work on this issue.
Well, Morris believes that Americans will eventually forgive Williams, but says he needs to take a few years off. President Obama says he's considering providing military assistance to Ukraine in their fight against Russian-backed rebels, but he failed to give any details about that today. The president met with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and the two leaders seem to disagree on how to best handle the ongoing fighting in Ukraine. Merkel is urging the United States to hold off on sending military aid to Kiev, which may include anti-tank missiles, but President Obama says he hasn't taken anything off the table.
If, in fact, diplomacy fails, what I've asked my team to do is to look at all options. And the possibility of lethal defensive weapons is one of those options that's being examined.
President Obama also insists that the U.S. will continue to apply economic sanctions on Russia. Meanwhile, Germany, France are all set to lead peace talks between Moscow and Kiev later this week. When it comes to Iran, President Obama says it's time for Tehran to make a decision whether to accept a nuclear deal or not. The deadline has been extended, but President Obama and John Kerry say they don't see an extension being useful at all. The danger of Iran's nuclear program will be the focus of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address before a joint session of Congress next month. And there is late word just today from House Speaker John Boehner that March 3rd speech is still on as planned, despite threats of boycotts from Democrats. Another head has rolled at the Secret Service. Deputy Director A.T. Smith is stepping down from his post. Smith becomes the latest high-level departure from the agency amid some top-level house cleaning. Recent lapses by the agency include allowing a knife-carrying man to jump a fence and run all the way inside the White House. Also that drone, that toy drone, which landed on the White House lawn. Smith is moving to another position, though, inside the Department of Homeland Security. That's going to do it for this Newsmax Now update at the top of the Steve Malzberg Show. Of course, we'll have more updates coming up for you. Keep an eye on what that latest development in the Brian Williams story might be. Stay tuned for that. Of course, Steve will cover that as well. We'll have another Newsmax Now update coming up for you in about 30 minutes. I'm John Bachman. Now back to the Steve Malzberg Show.